England exceeded expectations but eventually lost to more technically experienced, better side Croatia. And now Croatia is going to face France in the World Cup final on Sunday. Wow, I mean, a lot of us were expecting that result. And to join me in the studio today talking about what happened yesterday in the first semi-final, second semi-final of FIFA 2018 World Cup in Russia, it's Simeon. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine, are you?
I know you told me so. You don't like the English team because to you,
Yeah.
they don't even deserve to be in the semi-final.
Yes.
But then they are in the semi-final
Yes.
and they lost yesterday. What do you have to say about it?
Yesterday, after that, I remember saying at last the World Cup is fair on the winner yesterday, because we've seen many times that during this World Cup whereby the people who play too well, they end up leaving the tournament, and then the people who play less end up getting to where they are today.
Yeah.
Like I said yesterday, you asked me a question yesterday, where is the team going to win the game from? So like I told you, Croatia is going to win from their attack. So we will both agree that if England has to win, they're going to win from their defense.
The
not
defense
attack.
also, yeah.
So we also see it yesterday, because the goal came from their defense and their own goal came from their attack. So. Yeah.
All right, but we're going to talk more about this match yesterday, because like I start with the intro, that this team, they exceeded expectations, really. And the coach came out to say, realistically, they were not expected to be where they are, found themselves in the semi-final. And when you find yourself in a place like that, you have to try to do better.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they lack experience. And coming up against a team that is well experienced, with players who have won everything in the world of soccer, except the World Cup, and with players who have been playing together for a long time. And like we said before, that some of these players, this is their last World Cup. That shows you that they've been together for a while now. So, but then, getting to that stage of the semi-final, where the likes of Germany, Argentina, and Spain fade.
Yeah. Yesterday, actually, during the match, I saw something that really made me thought otherwise about England, because I saw the energy, the determination of Ashley Young. I could see he's playing with his heart. So I could see the likes of I could see the likes of Kyle Walker, and then Jones and all the defense yesterday. So I could see that they put a lot of energy and strength. Like they are saying to themselves, this is our last World Cup, especially for Ashley Young. So he really want to prove himself. Yesterday they play a lot of promising game yesterday, so I actually like the way they play. But it's just that, for me, so far in this tournament, they are not better to be in final compared to Croatia.
You know one thing about soccer, and I told you before, I'm more careful when it comes to talking about these things, is that sometimes you play very well and you don't get the result that you need, and some teams don't even play at all, but then they get the result that you that play very well is looking for. Like the game Belgium against France, where we see the Belgium national outside, they played very well. No doubt they had a lot of opportunities, but then they were unable to utilize some of those opportunities, and then they lost to France, who went there with the determination and the zeal to win the match, and then they got the 3 points. And the English national team also, like we mentioned, we have great teams who have won it before a lot of times. And then, you know, with the kind of players, the crop of players that they have, you know, to me, I think they tried.
Yeah, the English team, like I said yesterday, actually after when I was watching their match, I gave them credit for how far they got to where they are right now. So, but for me, it's just that if we are going to give it to somebody, I want somebody who actually work hard, so hard for it. Somebody who is more compact, somebody who is more organized, who is more determined. So, which that's the spirit we see in Croatia from the beginning to the end of the game. And that's the difference between them and Belgium that you mentioned earlier. Because if you look at their game yesterday, despite their one goes down, they still keep to their formation, they still keep to their way of playing. Nobody tried to show. So they didn't change anything. So they still believe in themselves, they still believe in their own quality. And so Modric still plays normal position, still release the body the way he normally do. So nobody's trying to be the best among them. So they all put their heart together and they work as a team. So and that paid for them.
No, I agree. You know, England. If you check their matches to the semi-final, one would argue though that some of the matches were not big matches. You know, when they tried in their group match against Belgium, they failed. They lost 1-0. Though they will say it was against the second team, but Belgium also used their second team. You know, so coming into this tournament, and like you say, the coach. I'm glad the coach was able to say it himself. Like he said that nobody expected them to be where they are, you know. And to me, I'm sure when the World Cup started, a lot of us, if you have asked us then, we will tell you that I don't see England even advancing past the quarterfinal of the World Cup.
Yeah, and there's a mistake that I saw he made yesterday with his selection. I still say, maybe, okay, if you still want to keep to your team, maybe you think they are the winning team.
Yeah.
I feel before, as early as enough, we're supposed to have brought in Rashford and Vardy yesterday. That could have made a difference in that team.
Yeah.
Because Lingard and Sterling for me yesterday, I've always been saying throughout this tournament, they waste more chances than any other person in that tournament.
We don't know what
So,
happened
and
to
they
Sterling.
still keep using them, still keep using them. From
We
the
don't know what
beginning,
happened
I've
to
never
Sterling.
seen any
From the beginning of the
tournament. So
not
why
seen
do you
anything
keep him?
from
So why do
Yeah.
you keep him?
I
this
guess
far?
it's
So-
because of the name also and the press. You know, in England, I'm sure if somebody like Sterling was going to be dropped in the World Cup, I mean, it was.
No,
going to
I'm
be,
not saying. So they can, the way they brought him, it can be a backup.
No, I'm
for,
saying
so,
drop
but
like
so
on
far,
a bench.
yeah. But so far for Vardy and Kane to partner together yesterday, it would have been difficult for Croatia to mark Kane out. Like I said, it's going to be easier. You see, they just put in Lovren for him. So because Lovren understand him, Liverpool versus Tottenham, so
Yeah.
they've been playing all around. So Kane was off. So, but somebody like Vardy could have made.
You know,
impact.
one thing is they played. I mean, I'm not going to blame them. They're a team that is still growing. They have a lot of young stars like the likes of Rashford that you mentioned. No, the likes of Rashford. That's
But they keep their experienced player on the bench. They keep their experienced player on the bench and then play Vardy. Vardy could have given them a different vibe.
I understand, but then you cannot bring in Vardy when Kane is still playing. When Kane is somebody who is the well experienced
two of them can
striker.
play.
No, the two of them can play.
They can
I
play.
agree with you, but then he
They
was
share the
also-
load on Kane so that the defense will not be able to focus more on Kane alone, because now the likes of what is it called, Stanley, they play wide from the right. So if you play 4-4-2 in that kind of a game yesterday, it could have been difficult.
See,
for
can I tell
for
you
them
something?
to.
The truth of the matter is that they played against a team that is way experienced more than them. And no matter the kind of players they used yesterday, I'm very sure Croatia was still going to win because they, like you said earlier, it's a team that never changed their formation. They didn't change the way they play. They approach the game, the intensity. You know, they continue with the same intensity. They continue with the same zeal
Zeal
to
and
win.
energy,
You know,
yes.
they didn't change anything in the game. So no matter who England used yesterday, I'm sure they were still going to.
Yeah, I'm sure they might still lose or win, but I think it might lead them to maybe extra time yesterday if they play the likes of Vardy earlier, like what I read in that game. And what surprised me about Croatia is about they played 3 consecutive games that last extra time,
you know, and I was saying
120,
that,
and then they still have that kind of energy to
you know.
pull out that kind of performance. So I'm so impressed about
They
that.
have something. They want to make these guys, these crop up players. They want to make history for their country, and they succeeded in doing that.
Yeah, I think
Being
the
the
winning
first,
mentality as well.
Being in the final for the first time, and then it's coming from them. And with what, like we said, there are players who knows that this might be their last World Cup. The likes of Mandzukic, Modric, you know, Rakitic and all that. Lovren, all these players, they're matured players who, in the next 4 years, they might not be playing the way they are playing now. You know, so the new coach comes and they're going to be finding it difficult playing for the national team. So yesterday, they gave their all. And in the 3 matches that you talk about, they played in 120 minutes, yet they still have the energy to play against a young side. The English young side, and they were able to come on top.
They are really, like you said. So, like I said, most of them, they are a team that came from a winning league. So most of them, Juventus won the league. Liverpool tried so hard; they got to the final of Champions League. Madrid won the league. So, they have players who have this.
Mandzukic has won it
before.
So Modric, Rakitic with Barcelona.
So they all, every member in Croatia won a trophy, a medal. In their different league this season.
also won with Eintracht
for instance, so
at the expense of Bayern Munich.
So all of them won a trophy. All of them won a medal, if not the first, second.
No,
so
only
this tournament.
Lovren
also won a Champions League. He became second. He won a medal.
At least.
So that's what I'm saying. So all of them won a medal or a trophy coming to that
true.
tournament. So the vibe, the spirit is still there. So they still enjoy winning. So I think that's one of the things also will push them this far.
And you know, the one interesting thing about the Croatian side, and I mentioned that yesterday in our yesterday show, I mentioned it, is that there is no pressure. You know, the expectation is nobody expected them to be where they are today, you know. So the media focusing on them wasn't there. And you know, usually, I mean, as usual, as England press are, the hype was on the players getting to the semi-final. To them, this is the golden generation
Yeah, the
that is
pressure
going
was
to,
on
you
them
know,
to
is
do
going to
something
win.
extraordinary.
You
Yeah.
know, and Brazil also came with the same expectation. Argentina, Germany, Spain.
So
You know, a lot of people, a lot of things were expected of these teams, and at the end of the day, they were unable to, you know,
get
match those expectations. And now we're seeing a different side. Though the French national team, I'm sure a lot of people envision them to be in the final. You know, and the Croatia is one team that nobody expected them.
even in semi-final,
In
nobody
the
would
semi-final,
say
nobody will give them that chance.
chance to
You know, in the group where imagine this team beat Nigeria,
Yeah.
and so many people were complaining. I mean, they're very good. They're even they're a
They,
better team.
they actually prove everybody wrong that they are not there to play. From the coach, I could see there he has a plan, and he stick to his plan from the beginning to the end. So I think he deserved, like I said yesterday, Croatia deserved the trophy above any other person else.
Oh, wow.
For me.
And like the French national team, and now they're going to face the French national team in the final. The French national team is being coached by their former player who captained them to win the World Cup in 1998. And just to mention that, there's a guy who's dragging with me about Alberto Carlos Pereira, who won the World Cup as a player and as a coach. He wasn't a player. He won it as a coach in 1994, and he was a fitness coach when Mario Zagallo being the head coach of the Brazil team that won the World Cup in 1970. And Mario actually became the second youngest coach to win the World Cup. He won it at the age of 38. Only Alberto Sopici won it with Uruguay in 1930 at the age of 31 years old. I just want to put that out there. So I'm not trying to mislead anyone. I got the facts right, and before I say something or I write something, I know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's talk about the French national team with the Croatia, with what you saw yesterday. What you saw yesterday.
Yeah, I think for Croatia, like I said, if it happens to be their coach now, if I have to give their coach an advice, today should be their day of rest. No phone call, no nothing. Let them just rest. Put it off throughout the day. Not receiving any call, not receiving any message or any visitor, because they need to rest. Because this is a team who play 120 minutes
in three
like in a week. So during a week. So and they are coming against a French team who are very strong, fast. So they need a strong energy to keep the attacker of France. So if he has to do that, they need to rest.
But I understand you're talking about the physicality of the French national team, which is I agree with you. But don't you think these guys are more technically? They are more better than the French national team. No, because what they did yesterday. Sorry, what they did yesterday was they played against a young English side that won their match. And they're still full of energy to play, but they were able to come on top.
Yeah, like I said, if you look at that one yesterday, you say they played two, but now they play 3 consecutive matches that end 120 minutes, and then 2 of them take them to penalty. And then when we talk about this final, you know, France play before them. They have enough of time to rest.
Okay, now they have
only just 2 days to play. So France has 3 days to rest. They have 2 days to rest, and they still go to 120. And when you look at the likes of Mbappe, apart from you being inexperienced, you need your strength. You need your physical strength needs to play part to stop Griezmann as well.
Another thing is the Croatia was proving a lot of people wrong in this tournament, and with what they're doing right now is that there's no weakness in that team when it comes to strength. They will run with you for 2 hours. And they've done that. We've seen that. You know, so it's a team that they're showing us this is what life is. Life itself is what life is.
But they are human beings. That's what they are human beings. They are human beings. If you look at Mandzukic at the end, if you look at his face.
But he was injured.
Apart from the injury, if you look at his face as well, you could see there's a stress. If you look at Modric as well, you could see the stress on them.
But
though they are playing.
Do you know why? Yeah. You see somebody who is tired, but he's determined.
Yeah, that's what got them this far.
You understand what I'm saying? So they are players who are willing to, because they know what is at stake here. They are willing to do everything for them to be where they are today. And they've succeeded so far in doing it. Yeah. So coming into a final where they're going to be playing against the French side, yes, it's true, the French side, physically, they are good. You know, when you're talking about the physicality of the team, they are very, one would say they are ahead of the Croatian side. But don't be surprised. The Croatia might just decide, you know what, if you can be able to hold a team like Argentina?
No, see, what I'm saying is we should not compare Argentina with France now.
No, no,
They
no.
are both they are both in the final, whereby every one of them were willing to give their all.
Give their all, yes.
And then
that's
if you
true.
now look at somebody, we are all human beings. So you can't compare when Kante is 100% fit, not tired, and then you are saying Modric is coming from a weak play. Though Modric has more power, more energy, but if you are weak, you are weak.
You know what I want you to understand.
So, but I know in final their determination that has brought them this far to go.
You know what I want you.
France
You know what I
also
want
have
you
the
to.
same
You know what I
thing.
want you to understand. In this tournament, like we've said a lot of times, I'm being very careful to just discard any team.
No, we are not discarding them. No, I'm not discarding. I'm not saying France is going to beat them. I'm not saying France is going to beat them.
I just want to make a point. What I'm saying is, yes, the likes of France, they have enough time for them to rest. Coming into this game, one thing that the Croatian has been able to use that I'm happy about is the creativity in the midfield. Modric don't need to struggle with the ball. The likes of Kante, yes, sometimes it's a bit of skill, but then he's more of a physical battle kind of midfielder. The same with Pogba. But then you're having a player who think with his head. A player who, before the ball comes to him, he knows where he wants to put it. And when he holds that ball, it's difficult for you. The only thing is for you to commit a foul against him before you win that ball. So that is what I'm saying. There are two teams with two different.
But if you look at Belgium game versus France, everything you're talking about is everything that France put in place against Belgium as well.
Yeah.
So they control those things. They put those things. They think. They have players who are creative as well.
Do you agree?
So now they're coming back.
Do you agree with me that Belgium don't have any midfielder who is like Modric?
Yeah.
In
that tournament, they do, because if you have Rakitic and De Bruyne play the same position, but it's just that on that day they didn't they changed their ourselves.
Let's be realistic
so
to
you have
ourselves.
To do.
Let's be realistic.
And Hazard play as Modric, so they have the same quality of players.
If we are going to be realistic with ourselves, you know very well that in the entire Belgium team midfield, I don't think there's one player who is as skillful, as creative as Modric.
So are you saying Hazard is not creative as Modric? Because
No,
Hazard and Modric play the same position.
No, Hazard is skillful, no doubt about it. But
they both play the same position.
Saying is their way of playing is different. You know Hazard, their last match against France, like we said it here yesterday, he was one of the reasons why I did not see Belgium scoring or Belgium failed to score against France. But then now you're having a Modric that he holds the ball, yes, but then he knows how to open defense. He is not selfish. The passes are coming from him. So these are two different things. Yeah. You know, because I remember when I was playing ball, when I was a kid, and I was in the academy playing soccer, a coach of mine once told me, we went for screening. So there's this guy who, he's very skillful, and I was one of these players who, I want to hold the ball, I want to dribble. But then the coach said to me, he called me and said, can you see what that guy is doing? He was selfish. He wasn't playing, he wasn't passing to the next. So people would be crying for him, he won't give the ball. So the coach said to me, do you know what you're going to do if you are to be ahead of that guy? I said, no. He said, what you're going to be doing is just make sure you distribute. So what is, the ball comes to me, I'm somebody who I want to hold it, but I want to dribble for people to shout, right? But then when the ball comes to me, the first thing is I drop it. I look at you, I drop it. So that gave me an edge over that guy. You know, so what that is, that's what I'm just trying to say to you, between Modric and the likes of Hazard and anybody who's playing for France in the midfield. Okay. They have players who can stop you at any time.
Yeah, I actually agree. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying France has a better team than Croatia.
Yeah, no,
so
no,
I'm just trying
Nobody
to say
that anyway.
Because they are coming from a fatigue. We're just talking about a fatigue here. So their tiredness. So they just play 120 minute game for in a week. Not we are not talking about once in a month. We're talking about in a week, in a row.
And it's going to be more than
and now
Sunday
so
also. Yeah,
Sunday is there. So
I
in a week. So no matter what, they are coming from a team. These are a team who just finished playing final in Champions League. So 1 week they are in World Cup and then they continue playing like that. So for me, I'm talking about their strength. I'm talking about their energy in that game. So, but I know with it, if they still keep their cool, their pattern, and then control the ball more against France, then they are going to find it easy. But if they allow France to come on them with their pace and their attack, then I don't see them lasting for 90 minutes. Yeah.
No, you know why I'm very, I've been saying this a lot of times. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. you know, in this World Cup has shown to us that football is changing.
No, football is changing. Like I
You
said,
know,
I also said, like I
football
said
is
to you
changing.
yesterday, if we expect some things we analyze based on a team strength, the player in the team, the individual in the team,
Yeah.
then it's not left for us that maybe when they get to the field, things change.
Changes,
But we in the studio here, all we need to do is to analyze based on.
If
so
if the even also the French coach is not going to change his tactics, the formation the same one he used against Belgium, then I see them. I'm not going to say I see them winning, but I see them causing a lot of trouble to the Croatian side. And the Croatian side, you're not going to write them off. I mean, there is a team that, I mean, they were able to beat the likes of Argentina.
Like I said,
you know,
the only
come
team
this
that
far in
deserves the
tournament.
trophy is Croatia.
Croatia, no, I agree
They
with
deserve
you.
the trophy, but it's not left to them. They've done that for all the matches, like 9 matches now
That they've played,
that
yes.
they've played. So if it's not left to them to replicate the same kind of energy
and
in the
form.
final. So, but like I said, if the coach is wise enough to let them rest for today, maybe tomorrow, so half day, let them rest, and then on Saturday, let them just train and go to that match on Sunday. They'll be fresh and be new to play.
So with what you saw yesterday and what you saw the day before yesterday, that is the French side against Belgium, and then the English side against the Croatian side. What the final being on Sunday, Croatia versus France. What are you? I'm not going to say your expectations, but how do you see one? How do you see the two teams competing against each other in the final on Sunday?
Yeah, like now, if I have to look at the team of France and Croatia, they both have the same thing, like what we are saying. So they have defenders who can win a match for you. So
yes.
both of them have. So they have attackers.
They have keepers also.
So they both have keepers who can save the day.
And they have
and they have coaches also who knows how to win, who have winning mentality. So they both have players. Like we said, if you look at both teams, so they both have players who just come from a winning trophies as well, a tournament as well. So they both have midfield. But the only thing that is going to play a part there is mistakes. So anyone who loses his focus will be punished in that game. So what both of them will be looking for is just a single mistake. Let us capitalize and then let's defend.
And another thing is, you know, teams going into a final of a World Cup and having it at the back of their minds that we're about to make history, we're about to win the World Cup, we're about to do this. Then in the process, they make mistakes. They're putting a lot of pressure on themselves. If you can be able to go in there and express yourself, play your normal football, and then I'm sure you'll feel more, as the game progresses, you'll become more confident.
I think that's one of the things.
also.
That's one of the things that I would have loved. One of the things that I would expect the coach to do: shut them out of media, especially for the Croatia.
I mean, they have to keep in touch with their families.
No,
and
shut
all
them
that.
out. For these 3 days, they can't die. Shut them out of social media, shut them out of news. Don't let those pressures get into them. France might be able to handle it, but for Croatia, because like I said, mentally, emotionally, they are tired, so they're just pushing.
You know why I'm also having hope for the Croatian national team is that, like you say, no expectation, no hype from the press. Nobody expected them to be where they are today. And the French national team, on the other hand, is a team that every tournament they are the favorite to win.
Yeah,
that's
why I said
because
that,
they have so much.
That's why I said the
superstars
pressure will not be
you
too
know,
much on them. So, but the way people are going to hype the Croatia now.
You know the biggest
so it's going to
achievement in Croatian football is getting to the semi-final of the World Cup and finishing third. That was in
That's
1998, right? And now these guys, you know, they
just broke all
they
the old
broke that
records,
record.
so
They are in the final, so there's no pressure. No one is asking. The government, the fans back home, they are happy with them if they win or they don't win. So to me, I just think, and
No, if they win, they don't win. See, this is the same. If you have to take it back to a club, this is the same thing that affected Liverpool. Nobody expected them to be in final.
Yeah, no.
But because when the press got into their head, so it becomes a pressure. We have to take it home. Then they end up losing their focus.
That's what I'm saying.
Croatia
What
also
I'm
should
saying
not
is
allow that.
the Croatian right now, they are still there. Like we saw it there in that match yesterday. There was no expectation from anyone. They did not panic and change the formation. They stick to the same formation that they've been using. Their style of play didn't change. They were playing their normal football, and in the process, they got the result that they deserve. And the English national team, on the other hand, they were too anxious You know, they were just
running and
you know, they wanted to win so bad because they're here. They cannot afford to disappoint. They cannot afford to disappoint their fans back home, you know, and they wanted also to break that record. And then they were unable to do it because the pressure now was on them. They put unnecessary pressure on them yesterday, and the Croatian were calm.
Yeah.
And so if they can be able to continue with
the
that same
last
thing in the
man,
final,
last
the
matches,
last match, okay, you know what? Let's just play our game.
We have nothing to lose.
Nothing to
It's
lose.
just-
Don't panic and change. I like the coach. And I like the players also, you know, because they are not panicking. They are playing their normal football. And then the result is
For me, I think I just hope to see how I wish it to be after Sunday. So I want the Croatia to be the first, France second, Belgium third, England fourth.
I would love that, because me, I wanted everyone to see that indeed football has evolved, and now a lot of teams are stepping up, and it's not just about the so-called big names, Germany, Brazil, Spain, and all that. Let it be somebody from a different country to come on top. But then we can only wish for those things to happen.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's for the players to
Players
go
to
out
do their
there
job, so-
and then write their names in the history book, you know. And well, I mean, so who are you expecting to? I don't want to ask you to predict, but
like I said, for me on Sunday, coming back here on Monday to talk about the game, so I want to see Croatia in first position, and then I want to see the likes of France being second, and then see Belgium third, and then England go with fourth position.
England fourth position. Those are profound words coming from our in-house expert analyst, Simeon. Thank you so much for coming on the show once again.
Pleasure.
And to the beautiful viewers out there, I've been enjoying myself since the World Cup 2018 started in Russia. It's been entertaining. It's been fun. We've seen a lot of controversial decisions. And we've also seen a lot of positivity when it comes to officiating in this World Cup. The match Belgium against France, I myself enjoyed it. The officiating was excellent for me. And, you know, we see England, yesterday we watched England and Croatia play in the second semi-final of the World Cup, Russia 2018. And Croatia came on top of that one. And they will be facing France on Sunday in the final of the World Cup. Wow. Nobody, not me, myself, I don't know, maybe a lot of people we expect that to happen, but I did not envision to see Croatia in the final with the French national team. I'll be coming here on Monday, where we'll be wrapping up the entire tournament. We're talking about who wins on Sunday, and then we'll be giving you our highlight of the tournament, the entire tournament, as the World Cup ends on Sunday. Thank you so much for watching. See you again on Monday, same time, same station. Do have a wonderful evening.